Hey everybody, it's Tafony here once again, and today's rambling about is going to be on the Acid Rain Technologies chainsaw. It is a 4 HP oscillator for Eurorack. I believe it is 16 digital voices of super saws and super squares and everything in between. And the disclaimer first is, this is not sponsored, this is not partnered, this is not anything like that today. It is a module that I purchased use myself. I'm not affiliated with Acid Rain Technologies or anybody for that matter. This was my own money, my own module, and my own misunderstandings about it. This isn't journalism, this is just rambling about, and I'm going to miss things and get some things wrong, as you will all kindly point out to me in the comment section below. And more importantly than all that, it sounds like this. Acid Rain Technology chainsaw. It is a small oscillator, but if you love super saws like I do, then you will really appreciate it, or you should. So let's start with the most basic implementation of it. So I'm using my favorite VCA filter envelope combination, which is the steady state gate. That is a lot of alliteration, and I am trying to keep it as transparent as possible. So I have it in the saturation mode, which I think is the cleanest, and it is turned all the way down. I have it in one pole low pass for starters with a little bit of resonance, opened all the way though, and then decay to give myself a little snappy envelope. And let's hear how it sounds. Not overly exciting. Just getting started with it, but this is the unison mode. Not mode, I shouldn't say mode. When you start it out, it's just, or when you put it in this configuration, it's just one. So we're gonna go, or just one note. So we're gonna go top to bottom. This is a polyphonic module. You can control the three voices independently. We may or may not get to that today, but I'll show you how I prefer to use it in a moment. So let's go through the panel top to bottom and let you hear it again. So there's pitch at the top, semitones. As you click through it, it's got a snappy, clicky encoder. And the nice thing about it, if you want to load your system up with these, or you just want to get back to the start, you'll hold the button down and it'll jump back, it'll reset. And I think if you loaded your system up with chainsaws, I had 2 of them at one point, it would be really nice to keep them all in tune just by pressing the reset buttons. That's super appreciated. But for now, I am going to keep it in the default pitch. Then, let's turn this up so we can hear it. And the detune knob is the second knob. So detune, you think oscillator spread, but you can also, like, you know, basic subtractive synthesis stuff. You can make chords out of it, right? So this is what I love to use the chainsaw for best, is finding a fifth, right? So you're just like, for guitar terms, or just making a power chord pad out of it, right? You're bringing some simple polyphony, some stabs in, right? So bring in some detune, and this is going to spread out our 16 voices, I believe. See here a little bit. Let's turn it up a hair. Turn me down a hair. Hear that drifting? Some of that. We'll bring it in a little bit more. Getting into those chord territory. I really, really like that. This is the fifth, I believe. This is to my optimistic hope that in the center is a fifth. And instant chord, instant pad, instant stab. I love this for it. You don't have to send it its own chords, but you can. And it's a lot of fun to do so, to send it a seventh, to send it everything, to change chords every note you send it. But that simplicity is killer for me. So let's keep going. And I think it gets into like some super atonal sounding stuff at the end. Yeah. I don't know where you'd want to use that, but maybe. There's a use for everything in modular, right? Now there is CV control over this, and in a bit of unusual order today. Oops, just dropped my cable. Let's send an LFO to detune. Yeah, maybe there's a use for that for you. Not so much for me. You might want to attenuate that a lot, I'd say. Sending it that full voltage of the LFO, maybe not too much, but it'd be cool to, you know, have a little movement. Let's get on to, I'm going to go back to the unison, and we're going to get to the wave shape. Not wave folding, not wave shape, I shouldn't say, but you can turn from your super saw to super square, and that sounds like this. And it doesn't sound too different in the unison mode, so let's go back to our super square, or super saw rather, and bring in our detune. And we'll sweep through again. Yeah, I prefer the super saw for me. This is what I'm here for. The swarm, the bees, the the 80s cheese, the I love that, I want that, right? So I think just give it a little bit. And I think it, okay, here's going to be some scientific terms. There's, if you listen in the background, you hear a little bit of like the different waveforms kind of out of sync, makes it sort of, if I had the oscilloscope, you'd know how the sine wave, if your wave fold, that it kind of pulsates, right? It's like pulse width modulation has that same sort of like buzziness to it. There's a little bit of that if you bring in a little bit of detune, and hopefully that isn't all just snake oil. But I really like how this sounds. It's, yeah, instant pads, right? So we went over the detune modulation, but you can do FM, and the way it does FM is actually interesting here, because usually I avoid FM, because when you send it, it just seems to like totally go crazy with your tuning, like. But this one, I don't know what they've done, if they've internally attenuated my LFO or what, but the FM here just seems really useful without any fuss, like just like easy variation. And maybe that's in whatever mode I'm in. I don't think there's any alternative settings for this thing anyway, but yeah, do your research before you make a YouTube video like this. But that sounds like the other oscillators are being switching tune. Maybe somewhere in the 16 voices. It's not just sending all the root note like crazy, but it sounds great to me. Okay, taking that out now. This is also a stereo module, so if we bypass all of that, I don't have any stereo filters, unfortunately. That should be something that I pick up soon, but there's always something that we should pick up soon, right? The joys of modular. Let's send it straight in. It sounds so good, even. I mean, my patch before was very vanilla, if you could say that, but it just on its own sounds good. Now you can hear even more of that, whatever the heck I was trying to explain before, in the stereo mode, right? There's something. I wish I had the oscilloscope out to show it, but yeah. Let's go through some of the stuff in stereo now. I think that's phase modulation, right? Is it? Right? Science. You just in stereo get a little bit more of that special sauce. And yeah, I mean, oscillators are a tough one to demo because there isn't the most to them sometimes, but it just sounds great. That's what it sounds like, right? Let's give it a little bit of reverb for fun. Big haul from the Desmos Versio. Sorry, just needed to dial that in. Let's. Yeah. Super saws are great. Chainsaw is great. 4HP. 4HP polyphony. Digital oscillator super saw is great. If that sound is a sound you enjoy, then you will enjoy the acid rain chainsaw, I think. You can also, so I skipped over the part about the 3-volt per octave inputs. You can create your own chords by independently sending it CV. For me, in my setup, I appreciate the simplicity of just rocking the detune knob to make a chord. That's how I'd prefer to do it. It would be cool if this thing took MIDI, and I don't believe it does, to send it chords that way, but I don't need to. The power's there. It's sweet. It could fit in this 1U adapter below it too. I have done that before, and I appreciated that about it. It was much appreciated. Yeah, it's a pad machine. It's a lead monster. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tafony. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.